Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we are going to explore the history, interesting facts and usage of petrol. History. Petrol, also known as gasoline or gas, is a highly flammable liquid hydrocarbon fuel derived from petroleum, a fossil fuel. It is primarily used as a fuel for internal combustion engines in automobiles and other vehicles. The history of petrol dates back to the late 19th century. In 1859, the first oil well was drilled in Titusville, Pennsylvania, USA, which marked the beginning of the petroleum industry. At that time, petroleum was mainly used for lighting and as a lubricant. It wasn't until the 1890s that internal combustion engines started being developed, and with that came the need for a new kind of fuel. In 1862, French engineer Etienne Lenoir invented the first internal combustion engine, which used coal gas as fuel. In the 1880s, German engineer Gottlieb Daimler and his partner Wilhelm Maybach developed the first high-speed petrol engine, which they used to power the first petrol-powered car in 1886. Around the same time, American engineer George B. Selden filed a patent for a road vehicle powered by an internal combustion engine, which he called a road engine. The patent was granted in 1895, and Selden went on to form the Association of Licensed Automobile Manufacturers, ALAM, which granted licenses for the manufacture of petrol-powered cars. The first petrol-powered car to be imported to India was a Renault in 1898. It wasn't until the early 1900s that petrol started being produced in India. The first petrol pump in India was set up in the early 1920s in Calcutta, now Kolkata. Over the years, petrol has become the primary fuel source for transportation around the world. However, concerns over the environmental impact of fossil fuels have led to increased interest in alternative fuels such as electric and hydrogen. In recent years, efforts have been made to reduce the amount of pollution caused by petrol-powered vehicles. This has led to the development of more efficient engines, as well as the use of biofuels and other alternative fuels. Despite this, petrol remains the primary fuel source for transportation in many parts of the world, including India. Petroleum large exporter. Petroleum is one of the most valuable natural resources in the world, and it is produced by many countries. Some of the top petroleum-producing countries include the United States, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Canada. In terms of exports, the top petroleum exporting countries in the world are Saudi Arabia, Russia, and the United States. According to the International Energy Agency, IEA, Saudi Arabia is the largest petroleum exporter in the world, exporting around 7.4 million barrels per day, BPD, in 2020. Russia is the second largest petroleum exporter, with exports of around 5.2 million BPD in 2020, followed by the United States, which exported around 3.2 million BPD in the same year. Other major petroleum exporting countries include Iraq, Canada, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Iran, Nigeria, and Venezuela. It is important to note that the global petroleum market is highly dynamic and constantly changing. The ranking of top petroleum exporters can shift based on a variety of factors, including changes in production levels, political instability, and fluctuations in global demand. How we get petrol? The first step in the production of petrol is the distillation of crude oil. This process involves heating the crude oil to a high temperature, causing it to vaporize. The vaporized crude oil is then condensed into different fractions, based on their boiling points. The fraction that is most commonly used to produce petrol is the light straight-run naphtha, which is obtained from the distillation of crude oil. The next stage in the production of petrol is cracking, which involves breaking down the heavier fractions obtained from distillation into lighter, more valuable products such as petrol, diesel, and aviation fuel. This process involves breaking down the hydrocarbon molecules in the heavier fractions using heat and pressure to produce smaller molecules that can be used as fuel. After cracking, the petrol is then blended with other additives such as octane boosters, corrosion inhibitors, and detergents. These additives help to improve the performance and quality of the fuel, as well as reduce emissions. The final product is then transported from refineries to distribution centers, where it is stored in large tanks before being loaded onto trucks for delivery to petrol stations. At petrol stations, the petrol is stored in underground tanks and dispensed into vehicles through pumps. It is important to note that the production and distribution of petrol is a complex process that involves many different stakeholders, from oil companies and refineries to transportation and logistics companies, as well as petrol station owners and operators. Here are some of the key reasons why petrol is so important. Transportation. Petrol is the primary fuel source for the vast majority of road vehicles, including cars, trucks, buses, and motorcycles. It is also used to power boats and some aircraft. The importance of transportation in modern society cannot be overstated, as it enables people to travel to work, school, and other places, as well as facilitating the movement of goods and services. Industrial and commercial use. Petrol is also used in a wide range of industrial and commercial applications, including the generation of electricity and the production of plastics, synthetic materials, and other chemicals. Many manufacturing processes also rely on petrol and other petroleum products. Job creation. The oil and gas industry, which includes the production and refining of petrol, is a major employer worldwide. The industry creates jobs in a wide range of fields, including engineering, geology, exploration, production, refining, marketing, and distribution. Economic importance. The oil and gas industry is also a major contributor to national and global economies, providing a significant source of tax revenue and export income. Many countries that are rich in oil reserves, such as Saudi Arabia and Russia, rely heavily on the oil and gas industry for economic growth and development. Energy security. The availability of petrol is crucial for ensuring energy security, particularly for countries that rely heavily on imported oil. Energy security is important for maintaining economic stability and preventing supply disruptions that can lead to price spikes and other economic problems. However, the use of petrol is also associated with a number of environmental and health concerns, including air pollution, climate change, and the risk of oil spills. As a result, there is increasing interest in alternative fuels and energy sources, such as electric vehicles, biofuels, and renewable energy. That's all for today's video. We hope you enjoyed learning about the history, interesting facts, and usage of petrol. Let us know in the comments below if you have any other interesting facts to share.